Hi, boys and girls. Today we're going to be doing lesson 7.3, a fraction as a multiple of a unit fraction. So we're going to be taking a look at unit fractions today and also seeing what their multiples are. So let's go ahead and click on your math message. And I'm going to read this out loud to you, so follow along with me, please. Jen used 1/3 cup of skim milk to make a strawberry smoothie. Choose a fraction circle piece to represent how much milk Jen used. If the piece you chose represents 1/3, what piece is the whole? So I want you to go ahead and do that. So pause the program because I'm going to go ahead with the solution. So pause it, try it on your own first, on your paper or in your own platform so you don't see the solution. So I'm going to go ahead and pull up 1/3 using my fraction circle pieces. Here are my thirds, and right now I only want one of them. So I'm going to get rid of these, and I'm going to label this piece 1/3. So this is my fraction circle piece that represents how much milk she used. If the piece you chose represents 1/3, what piece is the whole? So the whole would be this red piece, the red circle. So I'm going to just move this aside for now, and I'm going to take this problem a little bit further for you. So this is how much she would need to make one strawberry smoothie. My question for you is, how much milk does Jen need to make two smoothies? So if she would make two smoothies, how much would she need? So why don't you go ahead again, pause the program, get your answer, because I'm going to go ahead with the solution. I'm going to bring up my fraction circle pieces again. And this time, I do want another one of my thirds pieces. So I'm going to get rid of this and get rid of this one because I only need one other third because she's making one other smoothie. So I'm going to label this piece 1/3. And the question was, how much milk does Jen need to make two smoothies? Well, here's her two smoothies. So Jen would need two groups of 1/3. As an addition equation, it would be 1/3 plus, 1/3. A multiplication equation would look like 2 times 1/3. And I can tell by looking at this, 1/3 plus 1/3 equals 2/3. So I'm just going to get a sentence in here. Jen would need 2/3 cup of skim milk to make two smoothies. So now what I want to do is take this a little bit further. And I want to focus just on my 1/3 piece here. So I'm going to pull up 1/3. I only want one of these, so I'm going to break these apart. Get rid of this and get rid of this one. So let's just focus on this 1/3. 1/3 is my unit fraction. Our unit fractions have 1 as the numerator. But if I want to count multiples of my unit fraction, I would count multiples just like I would with whole numbers. If I wanted to count multiples of 5, I would start with 5, 5, 10, 15, 20, and so on. If I want to count multiples of 1/3, I have 1/3, 2/3, 3/3, 4/3. You can count with me. 5/3, 6/3, 7/3. You get it? 8/3, and so on. So what this means is 1/3 is my unit fraction. Let's say the fourth multiple of the unit fraction 1/3, that is 4/3. The eighth multiple of the unit fraction 1/3 is 8/3. That's what we're going to be doing today. So let's move along. This was the rest of our math message. And this is what we were doing with our thirds. 3 times 1/3, that means I want the third multiple of 1/3, and that's how I get to 3/3. If I want the fourth multiple of 1/3, I get to 4/3. There you go. And so on. For the fifth multiple, 5 times 1/3 is 5/3, 6 times 1/3 is 6/3. How about 3 times 1/4? That means I want the third multiple of 1/4. So if I pull up 1/4, that's my unit fraction. I want to count to the third multiple. 1/4, 2/4, 3/4. So the third multiple of 1/4 is 3/4. 3/4. So go ahead and try these. Pause the program because I'm going to reveal the answers. Try them first. 7 times 1/8, you should have gotten 7/8. 9 times 1/6, the 9 multiple of 1/6 is 9/6. The fifth multiple of 1/2 is 5/2. Don't forget, for 7/8, 9/6, and 5/2, you can take these improper fractions and change them into mixed numbers. Why don't you go ahead and try this number story? If Kate wants to give a snack consisting of half of an orange to each of the 6 girls in her scout troop, how many oranges does she need? Go ahead and pause the program so you can do your own work, because I'm going to reveal the answer. So I'm going to start by pulling out, well, actually, I'm going to write my number models first. There's 6 girls, and they each need half an orange. So that means I need 6 groups of 1/2. That means I want 1/2 plus 1/2 plus 1/2 plus 1/2 plus 1/2. Oops, I don't mean equals. Plus 1/2. My multiplication equation would be 6 times 1/2 equals some number. So what would the sixth multiple of 1/2 be? That would be 1/2, 2 halves, 3 halves, 4 halves, 5 halves, 6 halves would be the sixth multiple. So the answer would be, that's 6 times 1/2 would be 6 halves. Well, let's take a look at that using our pieces. I'm going to pull out 6 halves. I'm pulling out my pink pieces because those represent my half pieces. 4, 5, 6. So here I have my 6 halves. And remember, these are halves of oranges. So let's imagine that these are oranges. And I'm just putting my halves together to make wholes. And I have 3 whole oranges. So 6 halves equals 3 oranges. You're going to see some number stories in your work today. So what I'd like you to do is go on back, and you can go to your slide 5. This is where you're going to see some of your work today. You're going to see you can do it online like this. Here's one problem. You have 9 screens. You can do this in your journal if you have that. Here's number 2, number 3, 4, 5. Number 6, remember you can pause your screen to do the work, to write it down. And here is your try this. This is what it looks like if you're doing the journal page. You're going to be doing page 234 and page 235. And this is what they look like. And yes, you should do the try this. When you're all finished with that, you do have your math boxes for today. Here are your math boxes. Here's box 1, box 2. You might not be able to measure unless actually they give you a protractor down there. Box 2, 3, 4, and box 5. And you do have your home link that you can work on. Here's your homework. Let's see, 5 screens. As you can see, the homework just mirrors what we did in our lesson, and here's the practice problems. There's your homework for today. There's games that you can play. If you have trouble, boys and girls, you can definitely go back and try to do one of the tutorial videos in the beginning of the lesson. If you go back to today's lesson. Oops, sorry about that. You have games and you have tutorial videos to help you if you need it. Good luck, boys and girls. Good luck multiplying your fractions and doing the fraction as a multiple of a unit fraction today.